Welcome to the Game and Party channel. I'm Mike Davis.
And I'm Jesse.
And in this video, we're going to teach you how to play the board game Clue. Do you have what it takes to solve the mystery? Let's see. Before we show you how to play the game Clue, we wanted to mention, check out our top 10 games like Clue. If you like Clue, we guarantee you'll like these 10 games. The link is in the description below. To set up a game of Clue, you're going to put the player board in the middle of the table, and you're going to take all of the character pawns and place them in their starting locations around the board, even if that character is not playing in the game.
The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the weapons and we're going to place them randomly around the board in different rooms.
In this new version of Clue from Hasbro, it has Clue cards in here. You're going to take these 9 Clue cards, shuffle these up, and set these next to the board. If you'd like to play a traditional game of Clue, just don't use these cards.
Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to separate the cards into 3 separate decks. You're going to have the room cards, the weapon cards, and the character cards. You're going to shuffle each deck individually and place it face down. When you get done, it'll look something like this. After you've shuffled all 3 decks, you're now going to take the top card off of each deck and place them into this envelope. This is going to be your murderer, your weapon, and your room.
Once you have the suspect and the weapon and the room inside your envelope, you're going to take the rest of the cards and shuffle them together and then deal them out to all the players in the game. It doesn't matter if some players get more cards than others. Then each person is going to take a notebook sheet here. You're going to put the initials of every player in the game at the top of the sheet, and this is where you'll mark off the cards that you have and the cards that you learn about during the game. At the beginning, you're going to go ahead and mark off any cards that you have in your hand. You can mark them under your initials and all the way over here on the left-hand side. And it's very important to keep your sheet secret.
You're always going to start with Miss Scarlet and continue clockwise around the board. If there's any player that's not in the game, you will skip that player and continue going clockwise to the next player in the game. On your turn, you're going to roll the dice. If you get a magnifying glass, you'll get a special clue card. If you get 2 magnifying glasses, you'll get 2 clue cards, and you will read the back and do whatever it tells you on the back.
After you've rolled the dice, whether you got clue cards or not, you can then move your character. The magnifying glasses count as 1, so this would be a 6. So Mrs. Scarlet here would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're trying to get into a room. She didn't quite get there. She would need 2 more movements to get into a room, and you have to enter rooms through doorways. If you're already in a room, another option you have, besides moving what's on the dice, is to use the secret passageways here. So for example here, this is a secret passageway to the conservatory from the lounge. And Miss Scarlet could just jump right over to the conservatory on the other side of the board. And your last option is to just stay in the room you're at. So even if you roll 6, you can stay right here in this room. But you still get to draw a clue card if you roll one of these magnifying glasses. All right, when moving, you cannot move diagonally. You can only move diagonally, left or right, or up or down. You cannot go through the same square twice. So I can't go back and forth through a square or around like this through squares I've already been through. And I also cannot go through a square that's occupied by another player. So if Mrs. Scarlet's here, she couldn't jump onto the spot where Mr. Colonel Mustard's at. Also, if you're in a room and this character is blocking that doorway, you can't get out of the room. And you can't get into the room through that doorway. But if the room you're headed to has 2 doors, like the library here, you don't have to get blocked by Mr. Colonel Mustard there. You can go around this way and come in this door here. If you roll more than you need to get into a room, you just still stop your movement in the room.
If you reach or stay in a room, make a suggestion for who done it. With what and where say, I suggest any character with any weapon in room you are in. Being these are the cards in my hand, I know it can't be any of these. So I might guess that it's Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the library. Now I'm going to take these pieces and move them into the library.
So Jessie has made a suggestion. Now what I'll do is I'll look at my hand and I must show her 1 card from my hand if it matches one of the items she suggested, whether it's the murderer or the weapon or the room. So here's 1 card for you to see.
Now he just showed me that he has the library card. So I'm going to mark off the library card in the left-hand column, and then I'm going to go to his name and I'm going to mark off the library card as well, indicating that he's the one that has the library card.
If I don't have one of the cards that she's named off, then the person to the left will show a card to her if they have a card that matches what she's named off. If it goes all the way around the table and no one shows her a card, then she has probably figured out who done it, and it's time to make an accusation. Now you can make an accusation anytime it's your turn. All you say is, I accuse, and name the murderer, the weapon, and the room. And then you get to open the secret envelope and see what's inside.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you have named the correct murderer, weapon, and room in the envelope, you win the game. If you have not, the game continues on. You don't get to move your character around the board anymore, but you will still continue showing cards. So when you pull these 3 cards out of the envelope, make sure you do it very secretly and look at them without anyone else seeing them, because if you're right, the game's over. If you're wrong, they will go back in the envelope and the game will continue. One last thing too, when you're making an accusation, you do not have to be in the room that you're making the accusation about. So for example, earlier when she said it was Colonel Mustard in the library with the wrench, if after that she wanted to make an accusation, she could say it was Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the conservatory. And if she's correct, she wins the game. If you are out of the game, you're still playing, you still show cards, but if someone else makes an accusation and they're out of the game, and then someone else makes an accusation and they're out of the game, and all the players have made accusations and they're all wrong, then the murderer gets away and you've all lost the game. Check out our top 10 games like Clue. If you like Clue, we guarantee you'll like these 10 games. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our podcast, and you can find us on all of our social media sites on gameandparty.com. See you on the next video.